All right, it is love-hate day.
Love-hate running backs. We kick things
Rogers.
off with Alvin Kamara, who's averaging over 22 touches and over 21% target share in the 5 games Derek Carr has played this season. Now, Kamara's been through a lot physically this season. We got to hear from him and how his trainer, this very interesting trainer, is keeping him on the field.
I got a good PT that works on me, Jose Tienda. Put in a lot of hours. You know, you can't. His nickname is Mr. Miyagi. He can't heal bones, but he get close. So even when I broke my hand, and I came to him and I'm like, man, JT is broke, dog. He like, okay, well Sunday we'll be able to do this. I'm like, yo, do you hear me? My hand is broke, and he's like, no, we good. We gonna figure it out. So as long as I can do that, and just try to figure out ways to get as close to 100 as I can on Sunday, because the reality of this league, nobody's 100%. If you're 100%, then you might be Superman or something.
Now, Dr. Rogers, I'm just curious, based on your analysis of the tape, is Kamara correct there? About his broken hand and that he's not 100% healthy?
No, it didn't look like a broken hand to me personally.
Right, yeah, okay.
It looked more like a finger sprain. Now there's a difference.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. The
okay.
broken hand, now that could really linger throughout the season. The sprain is something where you could play through the pain tolerance.
Got it. Okay.
So I don't agree with AK about his
trainer.
And this guy doesn't sound like he's a licensed physician, which personally bothers me.
Sure, of course.
As somebody who holds a standard on the internet.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah,
so,
you've got a degree.
Didn't like what I heard there.
You've got a degree. It says it in your bio and everything.
The Saints should consult with me.
I would think so. Whoever Alvin Kamara's trainer is,
seems legit.
We're not sure we believe it. Here's what we do believe: Alvin Kamara is going to have a big game this week as well. Mostly because he's playing Carolina. Like running backs that have seen at least 17 touches against the Carolina Panthers this year are averaging over 18 fantasy points per game. And they've actually given up a touchdown to a running back in every game this season. 4 different games allowing multiple running back touches, touchdowns as well. And so, as you mentioned, when you introduce this, Kamara averaging over 22 touches a game, should have a ton of success against the Panthers. By the way, we expect Derek Carr to be back this game for this game as well, which is obviously going to help the offense, right? Right, Dr. Rogers, we expect Derek Carr to come back. Right, is he coming back from a concussion?
He originally, I think, had a concussion. Oblique is with the latest on the injury report.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
it's all over the place.
Pain tolerance with the oblique. Derek Carr should be able to throw. I think the torque that he throws with will have to be limited at times, which means big day for Alvin Kamara, because handing the ball off with an oblique injury is much easier than pushing the ball down the field.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rogers, for that analysis as well. Another running back who's dealt with his share of injury issues throughout his career, but I think he should have. You tell me if I'm right or wrong on this one, but my expectation is that Devin Achane has a big game this week. He comes in as my running back 6 this week as well. He makes the love list, Dr. Rogers. He's played 3 games with Tua Tagovailoa under center, and he's averaging over 26 fantasy points per game, 137 rushing scrimmage yards per game, I should say. And what's most important here is he's being used in the passing game. In the 3 games with Tua, 20% target share, and that's important because over 60% of his fantasy points this year have come from receiving. And it's a good matchup against Buffalo as well.
That's the key. Buffalo's defense, they've made a lot of running backs look really good this year, and it's not just the Derrick Henry game. Breece Hall got back on track against them. I think when you look at Achane in this one, he's in for a big day, and they're going to need him. They don't want Tua coming off of his concussion issues, dropping back a million times, taking these deep drops. There's a lot of quick passing game. That's going to fit the bill for Achane.
Dr. Rogers, in your expert medical opinion, should Tua have come back?
I don't want to take a hard stance on this because in our field, it's a very, very divisive, very conflicting topic on head injuries going forward.
It's interesting because I feel like when I read you on social media, you are sometimes divisive. You're not scared to take the hard stance.
It's true. I think Tua did the right thing. I think he came back. If he feels good, it's his choice. Only he could say how he's feeling. Us as physicians can only recommend and consult for you. I can't feel what your head is feeling. So.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. But I definitely think you should weigh in to Tua. You should tweet and message him directly.
I've tried.
Giving
yeah,
him
it's weird that
advice.
he's not calling me back.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he
I
just
texted
hasn't
him
seen
and
it yet.
he literally said, "Who is this?" And I said, "I'm a doctor," and he said, "Okay." So that was that.
Yeah, what are you going to do? All right, well, we'll keep getting there because he just doesn't understand how smart and important you are. All right.
Aaron Jones.
Let's get to Aaron Jones. Free Aaron Jones, somebody else it's interesting. You've been busy this season because there have been a lot of injuries. Aaron Jones is somebody that also missed a few games due to injury, but he's back, he's healthy, and in the 2 games since the Vikings Week 6 bye, he is obviously 100% healthy, at least to me, to my untrained eye. 95% of the team's running back touches. He's playing 84% of the snaps, Connor.
He's been incredible. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I was watching the game in London against the Jets and he didn't come back in the second half, I thought hip replacement.
Okay, sure.
Yes, I thought potentially, maybe even have to relearn how to walk again.
Yeah.
I was very, very concerned. Aaron Jones came back much quicker than any of us online. It wasn't just me. It was the entire doctor community, the entire medical community. He's been phenomenal. And the great news, Matthew, the Colts are allowing 160 scrimmage yards per game to running backs this season. Aaron Jones is going to go off. 3
of the last 4 games, they've given him at least 17 fantasy points to a running back as well. Jones fully healthy, getting a massive workload here. So a great matchup at home in prime time against the Colts on NBC and Peacock, of course. I'm a company man. He's a top 8 running back for me this week.
Some others receiving votes. How about Tony Pollard? He's got the Patriots. Tyrone Tracy against the Commanders. Now, he's in concussion protocol, so that one we'll keep an eye on. I personally will keep an eye on that one for you. You could follow me at Connor J. Rogers, licensed physician. Alexander Madison as well against the Bengals. Let's go back to Pollard here, Matthew. He's gotten a lot of work this year. He's taken over this backfield. Patriots are vulnerable against the run.
At least 20 touches in 3 of the last 4 games. And you mentioned the Patriots. They allow the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing running backs as well. Yes, Tajay Spears will be back here, but honestly, the way the Titans move the ball, they've struggled passing the ball, obviously, but whoever's at quarterback for Tennessee, they're going to want to run the ball here, especially against the Patriots team that you can do so. So he's a top 20 play for me this week. Tyrone Tracy, when you're not here, Dr. Rogers, my co-host Connor Rogers and I are both big fans of Tyrone Tracy. We'll see. Hopefully he gets through the concussion protocol. I believe he's in stage 3 right now, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor. As we track that, though, if he can go against Washington, it's a nice matchup for him. They give up 5.3 yards per carry to opposing running backs. That's second highest in the NFL. 80% of the team rushes for Tyrone Tracy in Week 8. Handled all but 5 of the running back touches, and they had 27 of them in this game. So Tyrone Tracy has clearly overtaken this backfield. Top 25 play for me, and it's not pretty. You won't enjoy doing this. But if you are desperate, Alexander Madison, you heard me, Alexander Madison for the Raiders has taken over this backfield such as it is, right? In the 2 games since Zamir White returned to the lineup, Alexander Madison's outtouched him 45-6. 45-6. He's also got a 13% target share over the past 3 games. Top 30 play for me in a decent matchup against Cincinnati.
All right, let's go over to the hate list here. Javonte Williams. Matthew, how many times on this show all year have we talked about Baltimore's run defense? They're allowing 3.2 yards per carry to running backs, second lowest in the league. You cannot run on the Ravens.
No, you certainly can't, right? Only one running back this season has seen more than 16 touches against Baltimore, right? Just teams abandon the run. And since the start of last year, when Javonte Williams has fewer than 17 touches, he's got 1 game with more than 12 points. 1 game. 1 game. So, again, somebody that needs a lot of volume to be efficient. He's 43rd among qualified running backs in terms of fantasy points per touch. What's that stat tell you? Basically, he needs a lot of touches because he doesn't score a lot per touch, so he needs a lot of touches to get you somewhere, usable in fantasy football. And unfortunately, as you mentioned, the Ravens, number 1 run defense in the NFL. Teams don't run against them. They abandon the run. Just hard to see Javonte Williams doing anything really productive this week. He's outside my top 30 in Week 9.
Rachaad White barely sneaks into the top 30. He's got the Chiefs. Their run defense has been excellent. Here's the big thing, Matthew. We always talk about Rachaad White needing to be a volume guy. That volume is heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And we saw some signs of life from Rachaad White previously, last week. But I think it's going to be a different story on Monday night against the Chiefs, right? Part of the appeal of Rachaad White is how he uses the passing game, right? But look at this: the Chiefs have allowed 0 receiving touchdowns to a running back this season. They also allow the 4th lowest catch rate to opposing running backs. So, there's no mystery here. Rachaad White, outside my top 25. His percentage of team rush attempts has declined now in 4 straight games. So 89% of his 2 games since he returned has come as a receiving running back, right? He's just not getting the volume as a runner. It's basically been all in the passing game. And as we've talked about here, Kansas City really good against pass-catching running backs. He's outside my top 25.
Jacksonville's running backs both make the hate list. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. The Eagles' run defense has really gotten right the last 4 weeks. They are allowing the 3rd fewest points per game to running backs during that stretch.
Yeah, by the way, Jacksonville's also like the 3rd biggest underdog this week. They're more than a touchdown underdog to the Eagles here. So game script doesn't favor either of these guys, but especially not Tank Bigsby. He's just not involved in the passing game. Any thoughts, Doctor? I know we haven't seen Travis Etienne in a couple of weeks here, but any thoughts from the tape you saw, a couple of online clips that you saw a couple of weeks ago about Etienne's health returning this week?
Yeah, I'm feeling optimistic about his health. I'm not feeling optimistic about his play. And
yeah,
maybe
sure.
One is feeding into the other right now. So I think as you have 2 guys that are in a split work against a good run defense, this screams disaster.
In the 5 games they've played together, weeks 1 through 5, Travis Etienne averaging under 12 fantasy points per game. Tank Bigsby under 9 fantasy points per game. Maybe one of those guys could fall into the end zone, but it's worth noting that this entire year there's only been 2 running backs that have scored more than 12.5 fantasy points against the Eagles, and both of them saw at least 18 touches against Philly. Hard to see either of these guys getting that kind of workload, given the fact that it is kind of a true 50-50 split here. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.